Hi, I welcome you all in YuktMind's unique initiative 10 Minutes and Newspaper Done. We'll be covering today's The Hindu newspaper. You can download the PDF of these news from our website under Current Affairs tab. Or also you can download the PDF from our Telegram channel, the link of which is given in description below. Let's go. So we will be covering 6 news today, starting with RBI's decision to pull out rupees 2000 notes. Second news will be on central government ordinance on LG. Third news will be Gujarat government's initiative on green hydrogen. Fourth news is on appointment of two new Supreme Court judges. Fifth news is on a study on arsenic. Final news of the day will be on SDG. So the first news, the Reserve Bank of India on Friday decided to withdraw rupees 2000 denomination banknotes from circulation in pursuance of its clean note policy. So the clean note policy basically is withdrawal of 3 to 4 year old notes from circulation. However, the rupees 2000 notes will continue to be legal tender. A similar withdrawal of notes from circulation was undertaken in 2013 and 14. So please remember this is different from demonetization. So on 8th November 2016, the government of India announced the demonetization of rupees 500 and 1000 banknotes. So in demonetization, these rupees 5000 and 1000 notes were discontinued as legal tenders. Now, the second news. The Union government on May 19 brought an ordinance designating the Lieutenant Governor as the administrator of Delhi with the final say on postings and transfer of all bureaucrats serving the Delhi government. The ordinance seeks to amend the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Act 1991 and effectively negates the May 11 Supreme Court judgment that gave the Delhi government the power to make laws and wield control over bureaucrats working with the Delhi government. The ordinance seeks to establish for the first time the National Capital Civil Service Authority, which will be headed by the Chief Minister of Delhi, with the Chief Secretary and Principal Home Secretary of Delhi as its other two members. All matters required to be decided by the authority shall be decided by majority of votes of the member present and voting. So, this authority will decide the transfer, posting, and vigilance matters of all Group A officers and Danik officers posted in Delhi through majority of votes. The ordinance stated that LG will pass orders to give effect to recommendations passed by this authority. It also provided that in case of difference of opinion between this authority and LG, the decision of LG shall be final. Now, the third news. Gujarat has signed memoranda of understanding, that is MOUs, with several big corporates which have pledged huge investments in green energy projects, and these corporates have been allotted land for the same. The state is framing a new policy for green hydrogen manufacturing, which will be given the status of a priority sector. So, why is this important? Under the nationally determined contributions, that is NDCs, India has set a target of becoming a net zero emission country by 2070. The country also aims to reduce its carbon emissions by 45% by 2030 by sourcing 50% of its energy from renewable sources. So there are many colors of hydrogen, each referring to how it is produced. For example, green hydrogen is created from renewable energy such as wind. Blue hydrogen, on the other hand, is derived from fossil fuels, specifically natural gas, whereas brown hydrogen is produced from coal. So please remember these three categories as a question in prelims can be asked from them. So in its recent union budget, the center allocated around 19,000 crore for the National Green Hydrogen Mission, which seeks to promote the development of green hydrogen production capacity of at least 5 MMT, that is million metric tons per annum, with an associated renewable energy capacity addition of about 125 gigawatts in the country by 2030. In addition, the policy aims to attract investment of over rupees 8 lakh crore and create over 6 lakh jobs by 2030. Now, the fourth news. Supreme Court back to its full strength of 34 judges as Chief Justice of India administers oath to two new judges. Let us read about the provisions in our constitution regarding appointment and oath of Supreme Court judges. The CGI and judges of the Supreme Court are appointed by President under Clause 2 of Article 124 of our constitution. The other judges are appointed by the President after consultation with the CGI and other judges of the Supreme Court and the High Courts as he deems necessary. Whereas Article 124, Clause 6 provides that every person appointed to be a judge of the Supreme Court shall, before he enters upon his office, make and subscribe before the President or some person appointed in that behalf by him an oath or affirmation according to the form set out for the purpose in third schedule. Now, the fifth news. A research study has found that those exposed to arsenic had reduced gray matter, that is, brain tissue that is vital to cognitive functions, and weaker connections within key regions of the brain that enable concentration, switching between tasks, and temporary storage of information. So, knowing the gravity of problem, since the 1990s, the central and state governments have sought to address arsenic contamination. A common strategy employed is to encourage pipe water access rather than groundwater extraction and install arsenic removal plants. Now, the final news of the day. Bhopal has become the first city in India to join the growing global movement on localization of sustainable development goals following the release of its voluntary local review. In 2015, the 193 member states of United Nations adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which consists of 17 sustainable development goals and 169 targets as a plan of action for people, the planet, and prosperity. The 2030 Agenda also specifies mechanisms for monitoring, review, and reporting of progress as a measure of accountability towards the people. To this end, member states submit a voluntary national review, that is VNR, to the UN's High Level Political Forum, that is HLPF, and more recently, voluntary local reviews as a means for driving and reporting local implementation of SDGs at the sub-national and city levels. So, why is this localization of SDGs important? Because cities are the most important stakeholders in Agenda 2030, as at least 65% of the 169 targets could not be possibly achieved without the engagement of local urban stakeholders. A voluntary local review is a tool to demonstrate how local actions are leading the way in equitable and sustainable transformations for people and building a coalition of partners towards this endeavor. Now let us talk about India's progress. India has made commendable efforts towards the adaptation, localization, and achievement of the SDGs. Niti Aayog presented India's second voluntary national review at the HLPF convene in 2020. India's Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation has published a national indicator framework for the review and monitoring of SDGs, which contextualizes the UN's global indicator framework to represent India's unique development journey. As noted in a Niti Aayog report, at least 23 states and UTs have prepared a vision document based on SDGs. Almost all of them have initiated steps to localize the SDGs. However, it has taken a while to get India's first voluntary local review at the city level since the efforts to localize the SDGs began. Thank you for watching this video. Please share your valuable feedback in the comment section below to let us know how do you feel about these videos. Thank you.